Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Phoebe. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. If you have been here, thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for just being here. Thank you for telling your friends to tell their friends to tell their mama's friends to come check me out. Before we get started, if you have not subscribed already, please hit that subscription button and then turn on your bell notification so that you never miss a video of mine, okay? Alright, so today is Saturday, and I told you all last week that I am dedicating Saturdays on my channel to talk about everything PCOS related. For those who may be new here, I have had PCOS since I was 13 years of age. We are not going to add up the numbers so that I don't have to expose my age again, but I've had PCOS for over a decade. Over the years, I've tried different things, and I've learned what my body likes and I've learned what my body does not like. I've learned what causes my symptoms to go out of control and what manages my symptoms. And over the years, as I've learned about myself, I've seen more and more women still struggle with PCOS because although PCOS is not new, it's still a very rare illness. So there's not much that is known about it. So if you go Google PCOS, it'll tell you the basic facts, but it won't tell you things that will help you live with it. It won't tell you things that will help you thrive with it. So I thought, why not share my experience with those on social media so that they have one less thing to worry about. You know, if someone can share their personal experience, it can possibly help you pick up little things that you can do to help yourself with PCOS. Now with PCOS, no two women have the same symptoms. No two women will treat it the same way. But I think it's comforting to have someone else who can relate to this illness that others don't really know much about. Because in my honest opinion, I think PCOS is an invisible illness. For some people, you can look at them and say, oh, she doesn't have PCOS, but she really could be suffering from it. PCOS does not make women fat because there are many women out here who have PCOS who are very thin. Now, the symptoms of PCOS can cause you to gain weight, but the weight is not because of just PCOS. Again, PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. For some women, it means that they will have cysts on their ovaries. For other women, it affected fertility. For many, like myself, it will cause you to get high blood pressure, anxiety, bipolar disorder for some, mood swings, the list goes on. In my case, I have really bad mood swings, but over the years, I've learned how to manage it. But that's a story for another day. Today, we are focusing on how to get diagnosed with PCOS. If you think you have PCOS, you cannot diagnose yourself. And I did say this in my last video. I do not advise anyone to wake up and claim that they have PCOS because PCOS is not something that you should want. I know it feels better to have a name for something, but if you don't have it, don't wish that on yourself because it sucks. So I just wanted to come to you all and give you all some tips on how to get diagnosed if over the years you feel as though you do have PCOS, but you just haven't ever had anyone give you an actual diagnosis, you know? With PCOS, there is no test that can definitively tell you that you have it. But over the years, doctors have figured out ways to possibly get a diagnosis for many women. So with PCOS, it causes a wide range of symptoms. Some of the symptoms are acanthosis nigricans, which is the darkening of the skin around the neck, the upper inner thighs, your armpits, under your breast, between your fingers. Thankfully, mine is just my neck. Over the years, it's gotten clearer. It used to be worse when my symptoms were out of control. Pre-diabetes, I was pre-diabetic before my endocrinologist put me on metformin. With the metformin, I lost weight and it basically took me off of that pre-diabetic radar. Endometrial hyplasia. This is pre-uterine cancer because if you are not having your period, all the lack of ovulation just causes continuous estrogen stimulation in the uterine lining, and this does not protect you from progesterone. All this can lead to uterine cancer, ovarian cancer. So I know a lot of women with PCOS like, yes, I don't get my cycle. It's not a thing to celebrate. A lot of women like, you're so lucky. No, we are not, because there are risks to all of this. If you do not have your cycle and your body is still ovulating, all that buildup of hormones can lead to cancer. So it is very dangerous. Another symptom, high blood pressure. I have that. My doctor understands it. We try to control it with activity, physical activity, and getting my weight down. Elevated cholesterol. Again, PCOS can cause that because when you are putting weight, some of these things do happen with weight gain. Early male pattern hair growth. If I let my facial hair grow, I think I would have a full mustache. Okay, no lie. I would have a full-blown mustache if I was to let mine grow. But we know I don't do that around these parts. I don't do it. Nah, I get rid of it. If I gotta do it every day, I will. I do it every 1 to 2 weeks. I cannot have facial hair. It's a no. It's a no. Back to the list. Body weight. Up to 65% of women with PCOS have abnormal body mass. So because you have insulin resistance with PCOS, it will cause you to gain weight for some, not all. And some women with PCOS will blame that on PCOS. But again, it's not the PCOS that's making you fat. Your lifestyle, insulin resistance, and your lifestyle. Unresponsive acne. Where's that big guy? Y'all see that right there? I don't have acne as bad as I did when I was younger, but it still comes. And when it comes, nothing. All those little patches that they sell in the store, that don't help me, okay? It doesn't. It's going to stick around and it's going to leave when it wants to leave, okay? So for that, we just going to do this. Increased risk for, wow, my accent is really coming out. Increased risk for cardiovascular disease. Yes, so again, with the weight gain, it puts you at risk for heart disease. That's obvious. The weight gain is not because of PCOS, it's because of a PCOS symptom. And the last is infertility due to the lack of ovulation. So some women would ovulate and not have a cycle. Other women will not ovulate at all, which causes them to be infertile. It's quite unfortunate. And again, I do have to say there is no single test that exists to diagnose PCOS. Doctors rely on different things, and doctors currently rely on symptoms, blood tests, and a physical exam. And usually your physical exam would include a pelvic ultrasound because again, PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Some women will have cysts on their ovaries, and that's why doctors will do the pelvic ultrasound. So again, it's not one test that can tell a doctor that you have PCOS. Doctors rely on several things. They will rely on your symptoms. They will do a blood test to check your hormone levels and other different things in your body, mainly your hormones. Thirdly, they will do a physical exam, which usually involves a pelvic ultrasound, and that is to check for cysts on the ovaries. In order for a doctor to clearly diagnose you with PCOS, you have to have at least 2 of the 3 symptoms. At least those symptoms that I listed, you have to have at least 2. That's 1. And then they do the blood test and then they do the physical exam. Don't go to your doctor and be like, look, my skin is dark. I got PCOS. I'm overweight. I got PCOS. I missed my cycle last month. I got PCOS. That ain't it. Nah. And then even that, sometimes you may have the symptom and then they check your hormones and your hormones are perfect. You have no cyst on your ovaries and then you got to start all over again. So with PCOS, that's why they say there's no test in the world out there that can diagnose a woman with it. Doctors are really just relying on different things. And thankfully, some women who have PCOS will have imbalance or unbalanced hormones. And they will have more than 2 of those symptoms. Some of these women will have cysts on their ovaries, which will help the doctor give them a diagnosis quicker, which will help them start treatment quicker. And by treatment, I don't mean giving you medication. With knowing that you have PCOS, I feel like that is half the battle. Because after that, you have to figure out what lifestyle changes you will make in order to start managing and treating your PCOS. Having your diagnosis is huge, in my opinion. Again, everything that I say out here is my opinion. I am not a medical professional yet. I'm in school for physical therapy. Ow. Ow. But anyway, yes, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just sharing my advice and my research with you all. When I got diagnosed, I told you all, I got the blood work done. My hormones were, my testosterone was through the roof. My estrogen was like, I had no cyst on my ovaries, but my blood work was horrible and I had all the symptoms. My neck was black and patchy. I had skin tags everywhere. Armpits, darkness. Y'all, that's my alarm to take my medicine because I had surgery. Please ignore that. Oh my God, that was so embarrassing. But when I got diagnosed, I had more than 2 of those symptoms. And then my blood work, my hormones were ridiculously like out of control. So my doctor was like, okay, your blood work came back, you have PCOS. Now I was young when I got my diagnosis and I really did not understand it. But for women who are of age, or if you have a daughter who you think may have PCOS, take her to the doctor. Check her skin and see if you see any of these things. Check her weight, check her pressure. Just monitor her and see. Don't just take her to the doctor and be like, I think my daughter has PCOS. I need you to diagnose her. No, because a doctor could easily misdiagnose you. There are many women who've been misdiagnosed with PCOS. And it sucks. So you want to be careful. So before I end this, again, I just want to go over the different ways that you can get diagnosed with PCOS. Your doctor is going to do a physical exam. Your doctor is going to do blood tests and possibly some imaging. Your doctor is going to ask you if you've had irregular menstrual cycle periods or not. Are your periods regular? That's one thing. I never had my period. I had it one day in the 7th grade and it never came back. I did not start having my period until I was 18, turning 19. So if your cycles are literally irregular or absent, that is another thing that the doctor is going to ask you about. Higher than normal androgen levels, your testosterone, how is it? Is it high? Is it crazy high? Do you have cysts on your ovaries? Those are the different things that doctors will use to diagnose you with PCOS. It sucks, but a diagnosis is powerful. A diagnosis, I think, brings some rest to your mind. It helps you figure out what changes you have to make, and then it helps you just move forward. Thank you all so much for joining me for PCOS Saturday. I will be back next week. If you have any questions or if you have anything that you want me to focus on regarding PCOS, please leave it down in the comments below and I will try my best to focus on that on our next PCOS Saturday talk. Thank you so much again for being here. If you have not subscribed but you've watched this video, please like, subscribe, tell your friends to tell their friends to tell your mama's friends to come join me, okay? I will see you all next Saturday.